More updates going on out there right now, and that's what I want to focus on for you here in this live stream. As yes, we did get some more updates just today out of the Senate on the Social Security $2,400 increase to millions of beneficiaries, and that's what I want to bring to your attention because I think a lot of us are wondering these days, hey, what's going to go on here? What is going to happen? And at what point are they going to implement something for all the beneficiaries out there? Especially as of recently, we've been getting these announcements out of Social Security. We know what's going on with DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, and all the details there. All kinds of announcements coming out right now. It is so incredibly busy. It's like, what is going on this year, right? It is kind of nuts. But anyway, I want to share with you what just happened, again, from the floor of the Senate, literally today, just a little while ago. The updates out of this Social Security increase, again, $2,400, and what this is all about, okay? So here's the thing. You probably heard me talk about this before in other videos. And again, originally this $2,400 as a raise to beneficiaries, by the way, that's on an annualized basis, not per month, that's per year, which by the way, that's in reference to the $200 per month raise is what that translates into, which I'm pretty sure you know, just want to make that very clear. But anyway, this was originally introduced, a lot of us know this, but back in 2020, okay, so like 5 years ago, it was actually back in early March. So like we're coming up literally on 5 years ago that this was originally introduced. Obviously, nothing ever came about it when it was originally introduced about 5 years ago. And then it kind of disappeared for a while. And then maybe like a year and a half-ish ago or so, Bernie Sanders and a handful of senators came back and reintroduced it as the Social Security Expansion Act, okay? Talked about that in great detail. I've covered all the details there. Well, guess what just happened today, and I watched it live, playing right out, but Bernie Sanders was on the floor in the Senate just a little while ago today, reintroducing the Social Security Expansion Act and calling on the Senate to pass it at once. In other words, pass it like immediately, and what would that do? It would raise benefits for Social Security beneficiaries again by $200 a month or $2,400 per year is what that translates into, okay? So this is great. Just to see this excitement here and to see this being reintroduced, again, the Social Security Expansion Act. Bernie was there again on the floor in the Senate today talking about this and calling on all senators and the Senate as a whole to pass this right away, especially with what else is happening. I mean, here's the thing. I was out the other day in a video. What is this today? Today's even, what, Thursday? Yeah, today's Thursday. It's like losing track of days here. There's so much wild things going on right now. But a couple days ago, what was it, 2 days ago? Yeah, 2 days ago, I was out in some videos there where they passed in the House the $4.5 trillion framework, right? This is kind of like a practice vote, by the way. It's not the official one. Kind of like a practice to see like, hey, where do we sit right here on this whole thing? And within it, again, I'm sure you've heard of this. I've talked about it in the live stream yesterday. There's been a lot of information out there about it. Again, I can certainly focus on this in a separate live stream. There's a lot of bad information out there around this, by the way. That's not being clarified all that much, but, there's talk about potentially reducing expenditures and things like Medicare, Medicaid, maybe using DOGE to come in and, scrape around in Social Security to eliminate wrong overpayments, incorrect payments, erroneous payments, things like that, as well as potentially SNAP benefits being reduced. Again, list goes on and on. You've probably heard me talk about a bunch of these in previous videos, but this is where this whole thing comes in, okay? This is what Bernie Sanders was talking about today is that, hey, with all of this going on, seniors, people with disabilities, deserve to retire in dignity. And as a result, we should be expanding Social Security as well as increasing solvency as well. So that's one of the things about the Social Security Expansion Act is that not only does it raise benefits by $200 per month, that's what it does, okay? I've talked about the details of this before, but it raises taxes on higher income people. In fact, as Bernie was talking about this, he said that this would only raise taxes on about 9% of the population. The other 91%, as he called it, the bottom 91%, okay, that's what he said. The bottom 91% of the population would not see their taxes increase by 1 penny. That's what he said, okay? That's what he said. But anyway, apparently this would all be, like the entire burden of this would then be put on the top 9%. So the top 9% of income earners in this country would basically be the ones that would be, paying for this whole thing, okay? So that's how they would fund this. Because a lot of times with everything that we see out there right now, there's always these people that come on and say, what's the pay for? What's the pay for, right? They've always got to find a way to pay for it. So that's kind of the big thing, and that's what Bernie was saying today. from the floor of the Senate as he was reintroducing the Social Security Expansion Act, which includes the $2,400 increase or $200 per month for Social Security beneficiaries, is that, hey, higher income people are the ones that would pay for this, okay? That's the plan. Not only that, it would increase solvency in Social Security for the next 75 years, is what he's saying, based on their statistics, based on their numbers, and based on what they've investigated on this whole thing. That's what they would suspect. Now, remember this much as well. This is another major talking point, which we haven't covered a lot lately. I've covered this in great detail in previous videos over the last couple of years here, but honestly, I haven't talked about this in a couple months probably, because there's just been a lot of other things going on. But in about, roughly 7.5, 8 years, maybe a little bit further out than that, kind of depends on which report you look at and how they really do this whole thing. But Social Security is going to be experiencing insolvency. What does that mean? The trust fund is empty. Done, right? By the way, earlier in 2024, it was about 10 months ago or so, they came out with the annual report out of the Board of Trustees. It's a report that we get one time per year. It's usually right around April or May or so is when they release that. So we're actually coming up on the next one here very soon. But in that report that we got last year, they basically said that they had $2.788 trillion in the Social Security Trust Fund, and we'd be insolvent by 2033, 2035, depends on how you cut it, if they combine the trust funds or if they don't, but you get how that whole thing works. I've talked about it before in great detail in other videos. But the whole situation is that, we could be experiencing insolvency. In other words, all of that $2.788 trillion in the trust fund is gone, all out of there. It's gone. That's it. So then they would have to reduce benefits by anywhere between about 17 and 21%, or possibly even more than that. Obviously, these numbers are going to adjust all the time, but they would need to adjust benefits lower by that amount, because without the money in the trust fund, basically making the difference of money coming in through taxation on payroll taxes, based on what's going out, they make up the difference with money in the trust fund. Without that money in the trust fund, in other words, no money being there, they would have to cut benefits, and basically any money that comes in through payroll taxes would then be pushed right out the door again to pay the beneficiaries, okay? And the only way they could do that is by cutting the benefit. So anyway, long story short here, is Bernie Sanders is saying we wouldn't have to worry about insolvency. This would push insolvency, or the solvency, I should say, out for 75 years. Well, if we can look right now, 2025, out 75 years, we'd be at 2100, right? 2100 until they have to deal with this problem again. That's a very long time from now, okay? So that would obviously be pretty good for pretty much all of us, right? I think we'd all be probably pretty set at that point. So anyway, that is what he's talking about here, okay? Now, a couple other lesser popular provisions within the Social Security Expansion Act is they do want to change the way that the COLA is calculated. The COLA's a mess, okay? I don't care how you put it. I think we can all probably agree. COLA's great. We like it, but it's honestly a huge mess. The beneficiaries, don't get the raise that they need every year. It never keeps up with inflation. We're always falling behind. It's not that hard to figure out. We always know this. I mean, look at this year alone, right? 2.5%. That's what we got, right? We got it. A little couple dollars per month, and inflation has gone up massively. I mean, here's the thing. The price of eggs alone has basically wiped out your entire COLA. I mean, it's that bad, right? So kiss that COLA goodbye for this year. If you go out and buy a dozen or two eggs in a month, it's all gone. That's it. There goes your COLA, right? That's how pathetic it is. So it does not even reflect real inflation. We know better than that. They know better than that. But the annual COLA is adjusted by the CPIW, which stands for Consumer Price Index for Urban Wage Earners and Clerical Workers, and they want to change it to the CPIE, which stands for Consumer Price Index for the Elderly, which apparently better reflects actual living expenses for the elderly. I'm going to be honest with you. I've looked through the comparison over long periods of time. The CPIW side by side with the CPIE, it's not that great. It outpaces the CPIW by a little tiny bit, not much at all. It would be so unnoticeable that it honestly wouldn't even really do anything for us. I'm just going to be real with you. It's not going to do anything. They can change the calculation all they want. If they change it from the CPIW to the CPIE, it's not going to be whoa, we really see the huge change here. No, It's not going to be that at all. In fact, I have my own proposal on how I would do the COLA if that were for me. If it were up to me, I have that own proposal. I've talked about it before in other videos, but basically it is quarterly, not just annual, but it's quarterly and is reflected on the inflation over the previous quarter. So we're literally getting 4 raises a year is how I would want to do this. So we're literally staying on our toes here, and we're getting adjustments every quarter. Well, every 3, did I say 4 months? Sorry. Every 3 months is what we'd be getting an adjustment. So 4 raises per year is what that translates into based on real inflation over the previous quarter. So anyway, that's what I think we should be doing rather than looking at inflation from a year ago. Okay, so anyway, those are some of the provisions, some of the main ones within the Social Security Expansion Act that Bernie Sanders was yet again introducing with 10 of his colleagues in the Senate today from the Senate floor. I listened to it, and yep, he was over there talking about all this and calling on the Senate to pass it at once, okay? So does that mean they're going to come in today, race around and pass this thing right here, right now today? I'm going to be fair with you. Probably not today, okay? I'm just going to be real with you, but could we see some traction on this thing soon? Again, let's just see what happens. I don't know. That's the interesting part about this year, 2025, is that, last couple of years here, honestly, have been pretty easy to predict. It's not a whole lot going on. It's not like, all these huge updates all the time. The last few years, there's been, plenty of updates coming out. But this year, it's like, wow, there's just a lot of stuff constantly hitting the wire left and right. It is nonstop. The last few weeks, actually, honestly, like the last month or so, have just been very busy. And I think you probably recognize that with all the videos and live streams and everything I've been bringing you lately. A lot of things that are happening. So anyway, that's what happened today, just a short time ago. So yeah, Bernie over there. By the way, I'm going to throw this out there really fast. And again, I don't want to sit here and be like, whoa, hooray for me. I think I did something about this. I certainly don't want to take credit for anything. I do not want to do that. But the last few days here, I've been over on X, formerly known as Twitter, and kind of hammering around at Bernie and some of the other lawmakers like, what are you doing? What are you doing for Social Security? What are you doing for lower income people? What are you doing for SSI? What are you doing for all of these individuals, seniors, older adults, people with disabilities, fixed income beneficiaries? What are you doing? I mean, it seems like they have plenty of time to sit there on X all day and hammer the other side and complain. And I'm like, dude, you're here complaining constantly. Maybe you should go back to work for the people. I mean, just saying, right? So I've been kind of point them out a little bit and like, do something. Seriously, get off of this thing and like, do something for the people. So again, I don't want to act like, oh, this like spurred Bernie to go to the floor, but it does seem a little bit interesting how I've been over there kind of poking around at him, and there he is. Again, it's why you got to be the squeaky wheel sometimes, right? And I say that all the time, which is, if we just sit here and we say nothing, they probably act like, hey, life is probably pretty good. They're not saying anything. Life must be awesome. They must be living just fine off of their fixed income benefit. That would be the anticipation if we did not say a word. But considering that that's not really the case, that's why we need to continue to squeak, make a big deal about this, kind of tell them the situation, because unless we tell them, they probably have no clue. I mean, here's the thing. Lawmakers, do they really get out into the real world and experience like real life among real people? Or do they just kind of like sit in their own little dungeon in their basements and just like hide out there, right? Yeah, exactly. So anyway, seems very encouraging to me to see this being brought up again. Bernie Sanders. And again, here's the thing about Bernie. Okay, I've said this before in other videos. Whether you like Bernie Sanders, whether you like him, you're indifferent toward him, or you don't like him, that's okay. We got to keep an eye on him, though, because he is one of these people. He makes a big deal. He rattles the cage quite a bit. He's pretty influential. He's got a pretty influential position in the Senate, as well as the Senate Finance Committee. He's there. He's pretty influential, okay? He's been around a very long time. I just feel like you got to keep an eye on him. There's certainly a bunch of lawmakers out there you probably don't need to watch all that closely, but I feel like Bernie Sanders, you probably want to keep an eye on him. You just never know what he's going to do. And at the end of the day as well, it's just like, he has that authority over a lot of people, and he can really kind of get what he wants a lot of the time. Obviously, he can't like come out and single-handedly pass this, but he can push a lot of other people in support of this. So anyway, I can jump into the chat now. I can answer questions for you, but pretty exciting to see this being brought up yet again. I'm going to be fair with you as well. The last time that I saw this being introduced from the Senate floor was, honestly, I don't really know when. It's been a while. There's been some mention about it here and there, but nobody formally reintroducing it again from the chamber. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Is it like this is a formal introduction yet again, calling on the Senate to pass this at once. So That's pretty cool, right? I mean, they can talk about it all they want on social media and things like that, but that doesn't nearly have the power that it does coming from the lawmaker who is basically the architect behind the legislation and speaking about it and pushing on it from the Senate floor. Does that make sense? Right? Okay, so I will get into the chat. We'll spend a little bit of time here in the chat. I can answer questions for you, whatever you have. Just let me know what I can do for you, and we'll do that. Okay. It's going to take me a second here to get into the chat. By the way, thanks for joining. Really appreciate you being here. I know it's super wild lately. A lot of big updates, a lot of things that are happening. It is just so busy right now, which I think is a good thing. Okay, I've said this before in other videos as well. If we didn't hear any updates on Social Security, if we heard no new legislation, if we didn't hear anybody talking or arguing about it or making a big deal about it, that wouldn't be a good thing either, because it would be like, okay, we're not getting any attention here. What can we do to get Social Security into the spotlight, right? But it's been in the spotlight for at least a few weeks now, and it's all over the place. So in my opinion, that's a good thing. The more attention that it gets, the better off it's going to be, okay? And that's why we need to continue to bring things like this up and keep exposing some of the indifferences within Social Security and some of the major fixes that it needs to that it needs to get. Okay, I'm pulling up the chat here. Sorry, I know I'm kind of slow. Okay, here we go. Loading. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, Walter saying, when do we see a change in our checks? Mine is the same as it was last month. Correct. Yep, that's a good point, Walter. That's exactly the same situation for everybody right now. Right now, we're not going to see any change to our checks in regards to the $2,400. That I certainly didn't say that. Okay, I want to make that very clear. I certainly did not say that. But let's just continue to watch what happens here. Bernie Sanders, again, reintroducing the Social Security Expansion Act, which includes the $200 per month raise. I mean, that's like the key provision within this legislation. The $200 raise, $2,400 per year is what that comes in to be. And he was, again, reintroducing this from the floor of the Senate today and calling on the Senate to pass it at once. Okay, that's pretty encouraging to me. That's very cool. Here's the thing. Just because they talk about it and they don't do anything immediately, that's okay. I mean, that's really okay. I mean, here's the thing. I know we all want it right here, right now, today. I totally understand that 100%. But just the simple fact that it's being reintroduced is a good thing. It takes time. All this stuff takes time, right? They got to talk about it. They got to debate about it. They got to drink coffee over it about 17 times. They need to sleep on it for a month. You know what I mean? They need to offer 7,000 amendments to it. Obviously, I'm being exaggerating a little bit here, but you get the point, right? It takes time to do all this. So, yep. Yeah, Pamela K. Design. That's a really good question. Pamela K. Design is asking, if we get all that extra money, we'll have to pay taxes on it? I would say for sure you would, yeah. Unless one of these bills that's out there that would reduce or remove federal taxes on Social Security is implemented, or if the administration comes in and single-handedly, calls for the Social Security the Social Security taxation of benefits to be removed, okay? If they were to do that, then I would say, no, probably not. But if they do implement it and we do get something like this and they don't remove the tax on Social Security benefit, then yes, absolutely. This would push a ton of people over the threshold as far as what they would have to pay on taxes on their Social Security benefit. So really good question. Yeah. So it's kind of like one of those situations where it's like, we're kind of being led to the trap, which is, here, take this $200. And then they give it to us and they're like, just kidding. Now you go over a bunch of taxes on it, right? So they'd have to kind of do both of these simultaneously to really make it worth it. But remember, taxes are, just going to say this, just a percentage of. It's not 100%, it's not 50, things like that. It's a percentage, so it truly wouldn't be like $200. It'd be less than that for a lot of people once you consider in the tax ramifications. But you get the point, right? Yeah, really good question, Pamela. The Tumblr Witch, I see you there as well. Thanks for joining. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Thank you. Patricia Haynes, yeah, exactly. I see you there as well. Thanks for joining. Really appreciate you. Exactly. Yeah, everybody needs additional assistance right now. It's nuts. Yep. I don't know how else to describe it. I mean, seriously, if you've got a better superlative to use to describe how much people are struggling right now, throw it out. I'd love to hear some. But I've been coming up with like nuts and wild and crazy and whatever other weird words I can think of. But I mean, that's just like the situation we're dealing with right now and have been for several years, right? Yep. Um, Robert is asking, is SSDI the same as survivors? No, it is not the same. It is not the same. SSDI and survivors benefits are not the same. Okay. Hope that helps you, Robert. Yeah, Marvin Larrymore. Hey, Marvin, nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Marvin is it Oklahoma? I think I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I think it's Marvin from Oklahoma. Yeah, nice to see you, Marvin. Nice. Really good question. What's the name here? Which is better? Okay, is it Mr. Super something? Sorry, I see your message there. You're saying, hey, what's better? $5,000 Doge dividend or $2,400 increase for all Social Security beneficiaries? Well, it depends on how you cut it, right? It kind of really depends on all that. I mean, obviously, if you look at it over a 1 year span of time, $5,000 versus $2,400, it's pretty obvious which one is better, right? But if you were to extrapolate that forever, basically for the rest of somebody's life, then obviously the $2,400 a year is way better. I mean, in just like, what? 2.5 years, you'd be ahead, right? But then it would also push some people over the threshold of being, paying taxes on their benefit, things like that. There's other, thresholds there as well. So you got to look at all of it. And again, the Doge dividend would also likely be offered as a rebate or stimulus. In other words, an advance of a refundable tax credit, or just simply a refundable tax credit, which is non-taxable, right? So that'd be an option there as well, whereas a $2,400 increase to benefits would not be offered as that, but rather an increase to benefits, so therefore it would increase income for all beneficiaries. And then the $2,400 increase, another thing I want to throw out there really quickly as well, which is a lot of people that are receiving assistance from things like SNAP benefits, food stamps, maybe like housing assistance or utility assistance or some of these other low-income benefit programs out there. Now their income may go up to the point that they actually may lose benefits as well. Okay, so that's another ramification we've got to consider, is that the $200 per month raise, don't get me wrong, would be awesome. It would help out a lot of people, but there certainly are some negatives around it because, just like I said, it would raise income. Therefore, a lot of people, unfortunately, would lose SNAP benefits. And again, don't get me wrong, it's not a ton of money, SNAP benefits in general, but if you're getting $100 in SNAP and you get a $200 raise and they reduce your SNAP to zero, now you've effectively got a $100 raise that may even be taxable on top of that, right? So now you're at like an $80 raise. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of factors behind it, but that's a really good question. Yeah. Yeah, Donnie saying we are struggling big time, 100%. Totally agree with you. Yep, across the board, everybody out there. Nuts. Yep. Yep. Wendy is asking, how do you become eligible for a Social Security raise if it ever happens, things like this. Okay, so good question. It kind of depends. When it comes down to the $2,400 or the $200 per month, that's a really good question. It seems like, according to the proposal here, it would just be applied automatically to all beneficiaries, okay? That's just kind of what the proposal states. You won't have to do anything for it. It would just be automatic if they were to do it in the first place. Okay, I just want to make that very clear. I don't want there to be any miscommunication or, misunderstanding about this. If they do it, it would just be automatic across the board for beneficiaries, right? So that's what that would be. Now, other things like, for example, the Social Security Fairness Act, which was signed into law back on January 5th. Was that yesterday? No, 2 days ago. Yeah, 2 days ago, Social Security came out and announced the big lump sum payments are going out to beneficiaries right now. Right now, those are going out to people. That's not everybody. That's just a few million people as well. So yeah, kind of depends on the situation and the legislation that goes out. Another quick side note that I want to throw out as well, which is, in my opinion, okay, this is my opinion. Who cares about my opinion? Let's just say that much. I'm going to preface it by saying that. But looking at the number of beneficiaries out there who receive huge benefits, thousands of dollars a month, which, by the way, the maximum benefit right now is over $5,000 a month. So somebody could effectively get $5,108 a month. That is the maximum benefit right now. That's over $60,000 a year that somebody can get out of Social Security. It's a lot of money, right? But my point is, does somebody who's taken down, say, $3,000, $3,500, $4,000, $4,500, $5,000 plus dollar monthly benefit, do they really need a $200 raise? In my opinion, I would say no. They don't, right? So they could save a huge amount of money by simply drawing some lines in the sand and say, okay, maybe we have a phase out. Maybe we have a hard line in the sand, whatever they do, however they would address this. But if it were me to implement amendments to the $200 per month raise, I would probably have some kind of phase out. In other words, your benefit is, X or below, you get the full 200. If your benefit is between X and X, you get, this much of a raise. It's not 200, but maybe it's 100. And then between this and that, you get maybe 50 or something like that. And then it phases out to zero, okay? Because again, does somebody really at $3,000 or more dollars, again, I'm just making up a number here for example purposes, but somebody at $3,000 or something like that a month, do they really need an extra 200? They'd probably take it, gladly take it, but do they need it? That's the big question. There's a huge difference between need, necessity, and want. I want a lot of stuff, okay? I want a lot of stuff. I mean, I'd love to have like a jet, be super cool. I mean, I'd love to have like a yacht, it'd be super cool. I'd love to have like, I don't know, all kinds of stuff. Do I need it? Absolutely not. I don't need that, right? I don't do anything. I mean, I literally sit here and make videos all day and live streams. I don't need all that stuff, but it'd be sweet to have. You know what I'm saying? It'd be really fun to have, but I don't need it. Okay? That's my point, is that there's a huge difference between need and want, and that's kind of the situation. So if I were Bernie, I would say, hey, a much better sell on this would literally be to rewrite this and say, hey, anybody, it's the full 200, and then there's a phase out going up from there, and that'd be about it. That's just how I would approach this. It would really focus the money on the lower income people who actually need it. There'd be the phase out, so the higher income people that Bernie apparently has a big cow with. I mean, he hates people that get a lot of money, apparently, because he makes it very clear when he talks about it. But my point is, it kind of goes hand in hand with everything he's saying here, which is helps the people that are low income, seniors, people with disabilities, everybody like that, but also kind of, doesn't really necessarily raise benefits for the highest income beneficiaries, if that makes sense, right? Yeah. Yep. Is it Nicole Angel? I think it is. Sorry, I'm probably saying your name incorrectly. I apologize about that. But yes, thank you so much for the nice message. I really appreciate it. Yeah, very kind message there. Thank you. Appreciate you being here. Is it Ambrosia? Ambrosia? Thank you for being here. I appreciate it as well. Yeah, thank you for the message there. Yeah, things are wild expensive. Yep. At last, satisfied patriot. Nice to see you. Illinois. Hope you're doing well. Thank you. Yeah, Walter again. Hey, Walter. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for being here. Patricia, I see you there as well. Thank you for joining us. Yep. Marvin Larimore, I see you there as well. Thank you. Linda Hamlin, I see you there as well. Yeah, exactly. Yep, want to do what I can to help you out, and I think you're talking about Bernie there as well, doing what he can to help out. Exactly. Yep. Yeah, Roxanne Torres, I see you there as well. Exactly. As far as the Social Security Expansion Act, yep, they've identified that seniors, people with disabilities, things like that, beneficiaries who receive benefits from Social Security. Yeah, so that's what that is all about. The $200 per month or the $2,400 per year is what that is. Yeah, that he's talking about. Is it Kayla Harold? Is that what it is? Kayla Harold, yeah, they need to do something. Prices are very high. I actually just read something, I think it was last night maybe. Apparently, they're going to start importing eggs. Real thing. They're apparently going to start importing eggs to bring prices down, right? Supply and demand, right? So if they increase supply, prices must go down. Simple supply and demand, economics 101. That's what it is. So if they saturate the market with supply, prices will come down. So that's what we need to do is we don't have supply. We have too little supply. We have demand. Therefore, prices are very high. We need to saturate the market with eggs and, get a bunch of supply. But the problem is we can't just like crank up the production and be like, crank up the machines. Doesn't really work that way, right? Hey, chickens, lay a bunch more eggs. Lay like 6 eggs today. Doesn't work that way. You can talk to them all you want. It's not going to work, right? Yeah. Judith Thompson. Hey, Judith, thank you so much for the nice message. I appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, Judith. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Tree Mike D. Nice. Tree Mike D. Nice to see you as well. Hope you're doing well in Texas. Hey, Tree Mike. Thanks for being here. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So, by the way, if you're just joining right now, if you're just jumping on the live right now, I talked about all the details, maybe like in the first 12 or so minutes of this live stream. I covered it all there, but quick little recap here. Bernie Sanders was just out today on the floor in the Senate reintroducing the Social Security Expansion Act. Long story short, that is the legislation out there that contains the $200 per month raise or the $2,400 increase on an annualized basis for all Social Security beneficiaries. It adjusts the COLA, the way that it's calculated, from the CPIW to the CPIE. It increases solvency by raising taxes on higher income people for 75 years. And yeah, those are both the main provisions within it. Okay, so he was just reintroducing this today with 10 of his colleagues there and reintroducing this and calling on the Senate to pass it at once. So pretty cool, right? That's great. Nice. Robert checking in from Orlando, Florida. Awesome. Thanks, Robert. Nice to see you. Thank you. Nice. Teresa, I see you there as well. Teresa, hope you're doing well. Thank you. Sharing the prices on eggs in Texas. Yeah, that's nuts. Nice. Gamilio Santano, is SSI okay for now? Yep. SSI is good. So Gamilio Santano, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. But yes, SSI, you're all good. Okay. Yes, you're good. By the way, you're getting paid tomorrow. Okay. If you're an SSI beneficiary, you know this. Let me just state the obvious. You get paid tomorrow, okay? So just watch wherever you get paid, Direct Express, bank account, whatever it happens to be, your payment will be rolling in tomorrow, okay? Because March 1st is Saturday. You're not getting paid on Saturday. You're getting paid tomorrow, right? And again, I know you know that. Just want to give you a quick little reminder. Something to look forward to tomorrow, right? I know, right? That's awesome. Yeah, Kit Kat, you're awesome. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for the nice messages. You're very kind. Yeah, Brenda Turner, exactly. Thanks for being here, Brenda Turner. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, Linda, you're very welcome. Thank you, Linda, for the very nice message. That's very kind of you. Yeah, Susan Ryan waving her hands all around. Thanks, Susan. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for waving your hands all around. I appreciate that. Katie Carpenter is saying, that's a lie. I'm not sure if you're directing that at me or not, but no, it's actually not. Feel free to look it up if you'd like to. Bernie Sanders was just out at the Senate floor today reintroducing the Social Security Expansion Act, which contains the $2,400 raise on an annualized basis for all beneficiaries. Look it up. He just did it today. Yep. Nice. Hawaiian 5-0. Texas checking in. Awesome. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for being here. Nice to see you. Michael Arledge, is it? $6 for a dozen eggs at, what did you say? Oh, Dollar General. Honestly, I never knew that Dollar General sold eggs. I didn't realize that. That's cool. But they're still $6, so it doesn't really help, right? It doesn't really help the cause. Even the dollar store is jacking the price on eggs, right? So that doesn't really help the cause here. Nice. Is it Joyce Miranda? I think it is Joyce Miranda. Thank you so much for the nice message. That is so awesome. You're saying that you never miss any of the updates. That's so cool. Thank you, Joyce. You're very kind. I appreciate the nice message. Thank you. Nice. Linda Provencher, exactly. Hoping it passes this time. Again, this is really good. Yeah, again, really good strategy on Bernie Sanders' part here. I agree with this, right? When the spotlight is there, when the attention is there, that's time to jump in and just add more fuel to the fire, right? And that's exactly what he's doing here, adding more attention to this. And again, with everything going on right now, it might be like a really good time in a time of turmoil when things are happening, when Doge is going crazy, poking around at all these different places. People are worried about their benefit. Now is a great time to come in and be like, hey, remember this? Let's talk about it again. Let's pass it at once. Maybe we should do something right away. Yeah. Yep. Kit Kat, see you there. Is it M Distract? M Distract? Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you for the very nice message. That's very kind of you. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. Jorda Duckworth. Yeah. Hey, Jorda. Hey, how you doing? Nice to see you as well. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate you. Nice to have you here. Thank you. Yep. Kathy Jones. Kathy Jones is checking in. Thanks for being here, Kathy Jones. I appreciate you as well. Thank you. Nice. Yeah, Hawaiian 5-0. Thank you. That's so kind of you. I really appreciate it. Yeah, Hawaiian 5-0 is saying everybody make sure to call chapter if you haven't done so yet. Again, helping so many of you here in the community. I talked to them recently, seriously, hundreds of you. I mean like hundreds. We're almost at 1,000 people that have called them and connected with chapter to talk about their Medicare needs again, Medicare supplements, Medigap plans, Medicare Advantage, Medicare Part D, initial enrollment into Medicare, whether you should take traditional Medicare, Medicare Advantage. It's very, very confusing. In fact, did you see the live stream that we had yesterday? And a Medicare expert, right? Absolute Medicare expert from chapter right there. I mean, he was in there answering questions, talking about all this stuff. It's so confusing. I mean, here's the thing. I feel like I understand this stuff so well. There's still a lot of information out there that's like, oh, didn't know that. You know what I mean? So yeah, it is so wildly confusing with that. So yeah, if you have anything going on right now as far as your needs for Medicare, again, call chapter. There's the phone number, again, down below in the description. In the top of the chat, there should be a link there as well. I've had it in the videos lately, the phone number. Those guys are waiting on standby to talk to you. Literally right now, if you call them right now, they're literally waiting to talk to you. I mean, they'll answer, they'll help you out, they'll spend all the time with you, answering your questions, helping you out, listening, things like that. And they'll do all of it for free, 100% for free. That's incredible, right? That is really, really cool. And it's so nice to see so many of you here in the community reaching out to them, getting that free assistance on this. It's so confusing, okay? Why are these programs this confusing? They should not be this confusing, but they are, and that's what we're dealing with. But when you have an advisor like that and an expert on your team, and they're helping you out 100% for free, unbiased information that they're giving you, that's perfect, right? It's really good. So again, if you haven't called them, make sure to do that. They're still there working right now. I mean, it's obviously in the afternoon. It's not even late right now, but they're still there. Yeah, phone number down below in the description or top of the chat there. The phone number is there hanging out. Give them a call. Seriously, they'll help you out. They'll spend the time with you. They'll listen. They'll find you the best plan at the best price for your personal preferences, the best coverages in your local area. That's really cool. To have somebody on your team looking for that stuff and presenting all that to you, that's really nice. Yeah. So yeah, the guys over at Chapter, phone numbers down below. Seriously, give them a call. They'll be super happy to help you. Sandra King, yeah, totally agree. There's a huge difference between needing and wanting, 100%, right? Yep. Yeah, Hawaiian 50, Hawaiian 50. You're very welcome. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah, Jackie Davis is asking, would SSI get that if it happens? Okay, so that's how it's kind of written, is all Social Security beneficiaries. Well, here's the thing. Social Security administers SSI benefits, okay? So technically, SSI is not Social Security benefits, but it is administered by the Social Security Administration, and it falls under the umbrella of so-called Social Security benefits, right? Does that kind of make sense? So anytime that we talk about anything Social Security related, a lot of times SSI is also pulled into that, because it falls right into that category of all these different benefit types administered by Social Security. Does that kind of make sense, right? So, yeah. Yeah, Cindy Lee is saying lowering electrical bills or utility bills would put a lot of money back in pockets of individuals. Actually, yeah, huge. Just in the last 4 to 5 years or so, since we saw all this inflation kicking off and things like that, energy prices are up huge. In fact, energy prices might be up the most out of everything out there. We're talking anywhere between like 30 and 40+% on energy. When I say energy, I mean electricity, natural gas, heating oil, things like that. That's what I'm talking about. All of that is up massively over just the last 4 or 5 years or so. It's up huge. Yep. Exactly. At last satisfied patriot. 100% agree with you. Nice to see you as well. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, Anna Miller. Anna Miller is saying, why are we even still working out of a trust fund, right? She's basically saying that this is kind of like an outdated process with technology that we have today. It should be going into a dedicated, essentially like account per person, and then kind of just saving it there. They have proposed that. Setting that up. Yeah, they've proposed that along with so many other things out there. So, yeah. Cassandra, is it Cassandra? Salazar? Sorry, Sandra. Wait, sorry. Cassandra Salzavar. Sorry, I'm probably saying your last name wrong. Sorry, I'm like so bad at saying names. Cassandra, I'm sorry about that. But yeah, you're saying, hey, I thought we were getting a $300 per month raise. It depends. Okay, that's the part that's out there right now that's so confusing about all this. There's so many moving parts about this. But here's the thing about the $300. Okay, that is only people that are impacted by the Social Security Fairness Act or the repeal of the WEP, again, the windfall elimination provision, or the government pension offset, which is the GPO. Okay, that's definitely not everybody. I want to make that very clear. I certainly don't want there to be any misunderstanding about this. It's only for about 3.2 million people that are impacted by the repeal of those two provisions that were removed back on January 5th when that was signed into law, the Social Security Fairness Act, okay? Hope that helps. But yeah, that's what that is. Yep, Marvin Larrymore, I see you there. Katie Carpenter, I see you there as well. Yeah, Susan Ryan, Cindy Lee, I see all of you there. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Felicia, is it? Nice to see you. Thanks for being here as well. Really appreciate you. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Deborah Stanford, exactly. I see you there as well. Yep. So there are some, really good things about a potential $200 per month raise, or all the different raises we've been hearing about lately, and especially the implementation of the Social Security Fairness Act, increasing benefits for millions of beneficiaries, all that stuff like that. All of this is really good. But remember, anytime that we get more money, and again, it could be from income, it could be from a raise to our benefit, it could be from any of this legislation we've talked about, anything. More income means a reduction of other things, as in a reduction of SNAP benefits, a reduction of potential housing assistance, a reduction of potential utility assistance, a reduction of your money from taxation. I mean, seriously, right? So that's kind of, it goes back to the phrase of, I'm just going to say it, I know we all know it, there's no such thing as a free lunch, right? We get something, but there's always going to be a pay for it. We've got to pay for it somehow. And that's just what I'm not saying like, oh, I'm so glad this is happening. All I'm saying is that they could give us a raise of whatever it is, but there's always going to be something else that offsets it somehow, some way. Just like the COLA that we get every year to our benefit. Nice. Love the COLA. But what's the one thing that's dreaded that we all don't like that also receives SNAP? Yeah, you know what I'm about to say. Yep, you get a COLA raise, and then you ultimately get that communication that says, hey, we heard you're getting more money, you got a raise, guess what? Now we're reducing your SNAP benefit. Yeah, and net at the end of the year, and at the beginning of the year when we get our raises, you know, when you net it all out, we're kind of right back to where we started. The COLA goes up, the SNAP benefit goes down, the other assistance goes down, and then we're right back to where we were. We didn't make any ground, right? 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, we're literally right in the same spot, right? What? That's how it's set up. Blind, beauty, spiritual vision, I think it was. I hope I got that correctly. Really good question. Any new updates on anybody with SSI? Well, there's a lot of things coming out right now. And again, like I said a couple minutes ago, everything that comes out about Social Security, most of which also includes SSI, because SSI kind of falls into the Social Security category. I will certainly keep you updated on all of this. There's just a lot of things that are happening right now. So yes, I will keep you posted on all of it. Yeah, Henry's story. Hope everybody gets something. We all need it. 100% agree with you. Very well put. Yeah. So anyway, okay, let's leave it at that. I know my live streams are getting super long lately. I apologize about that. But seriously, let's leave it at that for now. I can certainly come back in another live stream later or a dedicated video, whatever you need. I can certainly do that for you. But between now and when I see you again, seriously, call the guys over at Chapter. They're waiting for you with all of your Medicare questions and needs, which, by the way, just want to throw this out there really quickly. They can help you with anything Medicare related, Medicare supplements, Medigap plans, Medicare Advantage, Medicare Part D, whatever it happens to be, initial enrollment into Medicare and getting yourself a, kind of Medicare plan, whatever it happens to be. But here's the thing as well. They can help you with all that, but also just keep in mind, if you are one of the roughly 33 million people enrolled in Medicare Advantage, right now is still open enrollment, okay? For about another month here, we have open enrollment on Medicare Advantage. Just mark that on your calendar, okay? Just please pay attention to that. If you don't love your plan, if you want a new plan, if you want to shop plans, okay, here's the thing about insurance. I just want to throw this really fast. Just like auto insurance or renter's insurance or homeowner's insurance, you should really be shopping this and reviewing it literally every single year. Why? Premiums change, deductibles change, co-pays change, coverages change, your needs change, right? Maybe your medical history or something there has changed. Your prescriptions maybe have changed. Maybe the networks have changed. The doctors you want to see are maybe in a different network now. All of that changes. It's totally good. I mean, seriously, you should be reviewing all this stuff literally every single year. And that's the awesome part about the guys over at Chapter. They will do this review for you 100% for free and see if there are other plans out there that would better suit you and your needs, okay? That's the awesome part about it. And again, with Medicare Advantage, there's about 33 million people enrolled in Medicare Advantage right now, okay? It's about half the people out there that are eligible for Medicare. About 33 million of them, again, Medicare Advantage, open enrollment. Now is your time to shop plans for about another month here until that door comes slamming closed, okay? So I'm just saying, just mark it on your calendar. Just pay attention to that. If you hate your Medicare Advantage plan, just saying, okay? Just saying, if you don't like it, if you feel like it could be a better plan, if you're looking for better coverages, things like that, the guys at Chapter will look for those best plans for you, your personal situation, 100% for free, and I love it. 100% for free. That's my jam. Love free stuff, right? I love it. It's totally 100% free to talk to them and have them do all the work for you to look, hey, is there a better plan in my area? And they'll sift through the thousands of plans and do exactly that. So it's awesome. Anyway, connect with them. Phone number is down below in the description or the top of the chat box, you'll see it there. Give them a call. Seriously, they're waiting to talk to you right now. Okay. Yeah, give them a call. Seriously, keep those comments rolling in. I've seen a lot of really good comments come in about people that have connected with them, got themselves a better plan, saved a boatload of money, got better coverages. They can finally see the doctors they want to see again. Really cool, right? So anyway, feel free to do that. And again, keep those comments coming in on your experiences. I love seeing all that as well. Love sharing stuff with you here in the community. There's so much stuff going on right now. Anyway, hope you just have a nice afternoon. Again, I'm here for you in any way that I can. Again, if I missed your comment in the chat box, I apologize. I certainly don't do that on purpose. I try to get to as many people as I possibly can. I get it. Trying to buzz through all this stuff as fast as I can here and also not sit on the live stream for 8 hours. You know what I mean? So I want to do what I can and just be here for you. Either way, I can certainly come back in another one. No problem whatsoever. I will keep you posted. As we get more details on anything right now, I will continue to watch it and bring you updates every day, every single day, okay? I'm here for you no matter what. Please enjoy your day. Have a nice afternoon. I will see you again later. Please subscribe if you have not done so. Again, call the guys at Chapter, phone number down below in the chat, description, things like that. And I will see you again later. Thank you so much for watching this. Really appreciate you. I'm here for you to help you out any way that I possibly can. Let me know what I can do for you. I'm willing to do just about anything except for go skydiving. I'm not doing that. Sorry. That is not my thing. Okay. I'm scared. That's just the honest reason why I wouldn't do it. But anyway, other than that, pretty much do anything for you. Okay. All right. Anyway, have a nice afternoon. Thank you so much for watching this. I really appreciate it. And I'll catch you again later in the next video or live stream, whatever pops up. And I'll see you again very soon. Okay. I'm going to pop this out of here, call the microphone, and I'll hit this button.
Are you sure you want to stop streaming?
Yes. Okay. Have a good afternoon. I'll see you soon.